All right, I want to thank everyone for being here today. You know, it's never a great day when we have to assume together when tragedy happens. But I'm holding this press conference so that we can reassure the constituents of District 39 that Cobb County is a safe place to be and that we are working diligently to be able to do whatever we can to solve this matter so that questions can be answered, and people can be rest assured at night. Last Saturday morning around 2 a.m., we all heard about what happened in the Riverside community. There was an officer involved shooting, and a man was left dead. With that being said, there were also different injuries from a fight that broke out that morning. I'm here today to reassure the residents in South Cobb that South Cobb is a safe place and that the GBI is working very diligently and swiftly to resolve this matter and for information to be able to be released so that we can know what really happened that morning. Right now, I'm not really here to tell you all the facts of the case, to tell you exactly what happened that night. We don't really know. What we do know is that a fight broke out around 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's very sad to say that there were children in the vicinity, toddlers, babies, in the vicinity where alcohol was and where there was a brawl. And I don't condone that. And I want to make sure that we know that there was children in the vicinity and there was several people on that night that went to the hospital. Not just the man that was shot. There was a lady that was hit over the head with a beer bottle while she had a baby in her hand. Yes, the police were called over to see what was going on. And unfortunately, the police officer had to shoot and kill a man. Now, was he unarmed? What we are hearing is that he was armed and he was firing a gun. And we want to believe that that officer took that in consideration, that other lives could have been involved in this shooting. Other people could have been unsafe by this man holding a gun while children were in the vicinity where other people's lives were at risk. And we want to believe that that is why he shot this man. However, my heart goes out to the family. It's never a good day when someone is shot and killed. It's never a good day. And we want all of the answers. And I don't believe that that is what's going to keep this family to be able to sleep at night. But we do know that they deserve the answers, and we deserve the answers as well. And we do believe that GBI is going to be working swiftly to solve this case so that we can know exactly what happened on that night. Now, the police officer, what we have heard was that he was across the street at the Quick Trip while the brawl was going on at the event hall across the street and was called over because people felt that they were unsafe. And so that is what I do know. But again, I want to make sure that my constituents and the people of South Cobb County know that we are here for you, that Representative Erica Thomas is here for you, that the Austell Community Task Force is here for you, and there's other organizations that are here for you. And if you are a member of that family, if you were there on that night and you would like some counseling, if you would like someone to talk to, please call my office at 404-656-7859 because we want to arrange counseling services for these families because we know that right now you are going through a trying time and you need help, and we want to be there to give you that help. We also have with us Mr. Davis and he is with the Austell Community Task Force, and he just wants to say a few words because the Austell Community Task Force is an organization that's on ground, that is seeing these things every day, and so I need them to make a statement.
Yes, on behalf of the Austell Community Task Force, we want to extend our deepest condolences to all the families affected, and we're confident that the GBI will conduct an immediate and thorough investigation of this matter.
Thank you for that, Mr. Davis. Um, right now, since we don't have as much information as we would like, we can't make any more. I don't have really have any other more statements, but I do want to make sure that if there's a couple points that you did get from today, is that we do not condone children and toddlers being around alcohol and at that time of night, and we do condone that. However, I do understand that in some cultures that this is, a Sweet 16, you bring the whole family, you bring everyone there, but at the same time, we have to make sure that the kids in my district and the kids in South Cobb and the kids in Georgia are safe at all times. Do we have any questions?
What is it that you're hearing in the community or among your constituents that made you feel like you needed to come out and say that you think Cobb's safe and this is being investigated?
One thing that I've been hearing is the next day after the shooting, the Six Flags Parkway it used to be Six Flags Parkway, but it's now the Riverside community, was blocked off for several hours. And so people were very scared. They didn't know exactly what was going on. They didn't know, if it was multiple shootings. They didn't know, what exactly happened. And so people were scared to drive down their own street. People were scared to come out of their own home. And so I wanted to be able to make sure that people reassure people that, this was one shooting, this was one killing, and we hope that it was justified. And so we want to reassure the constituents that you can come outside of your house, you can conduct business as usual, and that you are living in a safe place. And we are working our hardest to make sure that you can feel that way.
Can I follow up with Mr. Davis?
Mhm.
Because you know that there's been some highly publicized cases down in that area involving police and certain members of the community that for a while had engendered some mistrust.
Yes.
How does this play into that, and do you see any ramifications of the prior incidents with this?
Well, actually, of course, the Austell Community Task Force has worked hard to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. Now, this is unfortunate, and hopefully, this is something that won't mar the efforts that have been made so far and the progress that has been made so far. So I don't think it's going to affect it too much, but there will be some backlash, I'm sure.
And we do have a new chief of police, as you know, Chief Register, and we also have a fairly new captain in our district, Captain Hamilton, he has really worked hard to try to bridge that gap. I've seen him out at community events dabbing with the kids, and so he's really worked hard to try to bridge that gap. And I would say that, yes, there will be backlash because people will be scared and they don't know exactly where to go and how to move. And that's why we want to provide counseling and we want to provide services so that people can be able to get out their emotions, to be able to, talk it out without backlash or trying to make harm to the police, because that is not what we need in our community. We want to bring our community together. We don't want to divide it.
It sounds like that's kind of the undercurrent of what you're trying to say.
Mhm.
Is let's just wait for the facts to come out before we jump to any of these conclusions.
Yeah, we do. We want to make sure we wait for the facts. We want to make sure that GBI, and we want GBI to move as swiftly as possible. Wait for the facts, because we don't want to, do anything of the extreme and we find out that the officer was actually in his jurisdiction and he actually did what he had to do. We don't know the facts right now. That's why I said we can't come here and say this is what happened, this is what happened. And so, and I believe that, we agree that we want to see the facts first, and we don't want to uproaring of the community. We don't want to do that. And we've seen it happen all over the country, and that's not what we want for South Cobb.
Should there be a question or review of this establishment, particularly involving alcohol?
Oh, yes, yes.
I don't know
So thank you for that question. That's a really good question. And that is something that I have been researching for the past 3 days before we even come to do this press conference. Yes, the event hall, I right now, I'm doing my own investigation to try to find out what exactly happened on that night. And is the event hall giving out permits? Was the event hall serving the alcohol, or did people have the alcohol there and the event hall didn't know? These are things that need to be investigated, because if the event hall knew that they were serving alcohol around minors, then something needs to happen. And I'm not one to say, let's shut down businesses in my district. But at the same time, we have to make sure that these businesses are operating to where people in the district are safe. And at this point, from what I feel, they weren't doing that.
Is that really more a Cobb County issue though?
Yes.
Cobb County government issue?
Yes, it would be. It definitely would be a Cobb County government issue, and we will definitely be working with the commissioners and working with the licensing to make sure that all their licenses were up to date and that they weren't operating, or if they were operating under wrongdoing, that they are shut down.
Are you legally allowed to bring in your own alcohol or something like that?
And so I don't know what their permit. I believe that it depends on what type of permit that they have. And so, like I said, we're under investigating right now what type of permit that this event hall had. And so, yes, we want to know. I do know for sure, though, that they tried to make that event hall a liquor store years ago, but they got shut down because it was so close in vicinity to a preschool. And so I couldn't imagine that they would actually have those alcohol permits if they didn't have the permits to make it into a liquor store. So I don't really know the facts on that, but I do know that they did try to make it into an alcohol store, and they were denied by Cobb County.
Was there ever any question of hard drugs like marijuana or cocaine or anything like that in this incident? Any question of that?
No, I don't really know. I mean, for me, at that point, if there were drugs or if there was alcohol there, in the same sentence, I would say with kids around, anything that was illegal, it's all condoned. I don't condone any of that. So if it was illegal drugs going on, if it was alcohol around minors, whatever it was, is not condoned. And so that would be another thing that would be in consideration for that business as well. And so definitely in the next couple of days, I know that we will be working diligently to meet with those business owners. I have met with them before several years ago when they were trying to switch it over to a liquor store, but I definitely will be meeting with these business owners to see what really would happen that night, and what permits that they have, and do they deserve to keep those permits. Do we have any other questions? Good to go? All right. Thank you so much.